Hello everyone, welcome to Module 2, Lab 3. In this lab, we are going to set up the desktop computer. This is one of the job that you are going to do as IT technician all the time. Here is the description for this lab. Let's say you are the IT administrator for a small corporate network. Great. You just received a new computer and you are setting up in your office. In this lab, your task is to set up the computer as follows. As we see down here, the list of the task is already available for us. What we need to do is to just follow what the instructions say and do exactly like that. So let's start with the first task. Let's say plug a power strip to the wall. As we already discussed in the previous lab, what we're supposed to do is to go to the inventory and look for where the power strip is supposed to be. For sure, you understand that the power should be under electric outlet, which is right here. That is where the power strip means. What you need to do is to drag to the environment where it's green, so you can just put it wherever you want. So you see right here. And then you have to drag the connector, and then you have to plug that to the wall. It works, and then it's connected. Moving on, it says plug the computer into the power strip. How you can able to do that? You have to go back to your inventory again to make sure you are selecting the other cables, which is different type of cable. What we need is the AC power cable. So we grab one of that and then bring down here. And we have to bring the other side, plug to the power strip, and this one side is the male side is connected, the female side, we have to connect that to the computer. In order to do that, we have to select the computer and turn it to the back side because that is where the power should be go. It's right here. So we have to go back again after we turn it the back side. We click on this one in order to bring up the other side. Then we plug that in here. That way, we are successfully connecting the computer to the power strip, which concludes the second task that we're supposed to be done. Next, we keep moving on to do the next task, which is saying connect the following component to the computer. The first one is keyboard, mouse, and the speakers. Where we got all that from? Again, you can easily guess where it's supposed to under your inventory, which is mostly under peripheral device. Hopefully you already understand what the peripheral device means. Then you have to just drag and drop everything as you like it. So you can drop that one there and then you can or connect one by one first and then after that, or you can drop everything and then after that, make sure you connect everything that you dragged on the keyboard, plug to USB space, and then also click on mouse, and then you drag and drop to the USB port. That way, we successfully connect the keyboard and the mouse, and we are left with the speakers, which is right here. So we grab that to here, and then if we click on it, we have this little thing. So I want to make sure that both speakers is selected, because if it's one, you have to make sure you select both. Hopefully with both, we just need one single connector. So we have to go back to computer and depend on the color that you have to put that in input and output panel. So that's why we need to plug that one into the green spot. As you see, we are successfully connect the speaker as well. Moving on to another task, which say add the following object to the bench and connect them to the computer using appropriate cables. Great. That is the where you have to make the decision. It's not going to be telling you exactly what you're going to do, but you have to decide what type of cable that you need in order to connect what is listed down here. So let's start with the monitor because we already have that down here. I just drag it to the station, and before I just grab something else or decide to grab the cables, I have to do some research on this monitor itself first. How I can able to do that? I can just turn it back, this monitor, and closely look into what is actually available or the type of connection or the connector. So if you don't really understand what the port look like or the shape of the port, you can maximize this and drag to ups. You can drag up and down to make sure you can fully understand what the shape of these different connection that you have down here. So after you identify each one of these, which is of course, the first one is VGA, the second one is HDMI, the third one is DVI. So after you identify that, you have to move back, make sure you are minimized to make sure you can able to see everything side by side. You have to go back to your computer and check which connection that it has. So depend on your computer, maybe all of these connector are available on your computer. Maybe it's only one of that, which we can able to see clearly. We have space for DVI, and also we have display port, I think, and the HDMI. So depend on the port that we have on the available on the computer, also on the monitor. Now we have to move to the cables because we have to look for, okay, so what type of cable is available for us? As we see here, we have DVI to DVI, okay, which is great. And also we have USB, and I haven't seen that we have HDMI. So if we have HDMI right here, it's available, we can use that. If it's not, it's okay because our computer and motherboard have both options. That will be great. That's why you have to do the research to make sure which port that you are using. So what I'm gonna do is just drag and drop here. And as you see, both side is DVI. So I have to just grab one of this and connect to that. Here we go, it worked, right? Then I have to drag one of the other male side and then drag to the computer. Here we go. We are successfully connect the monitor to the computer. Now we have to back to the other device, which is the speaker, because that's the task that we need to do. So I get out of the cables, go back to peripheral device. That is the printer, which I have. The service through for printer, you have to do the research because you don't really know exactly what type of cable that you can able to connect to the printer unless you do your own research. What you're gonna do, turn it back the printer, look for different available connection. Usually, we not connect directly to this space, but mostly it's one of this. So depend on the port that you have on the printer, and most probably what you have on the computer, because this one is saying add the object to bench and connect them to the computer. It doesn't say connect to something else. It said to the computer. So the same like monitor, we have to make sure that we have the cable which we can able to use, and also we have the right connection or right connector or port on the computer too. So let's go back, because there may be different places that we can able to connect the printer to the computer, but let's go back to cables, which one is available. All right, so let's go back. So as you see down here, we have different type of cable. This is USB, but what USB is that? That's where the interesting thing is come. Let's check that we can use the USB. Why not? But when we select the USB, we have to make sure, because this USB has two different type of connector side, because one is type A, the other one is type B, standard. So which one is go to the computer and which one is go to the printer? Well, you can try, or you can easy to tell, depend on the shape of the port that we have or the connector that we have. You can say, if you already know what the type of A look like, what the type B is look like, you can easy to decide. Which of course, what we have down here is type B, is not type A, because type A is bigger than this, and the shape is not look like this. Sometimes it come with the color. That's when you connect this one only if you have the color match with this one, because what we have right here, it doesn't have any color. Because of that, we not consider to connect that to here. So I just drag it and drop to this one. Boom, it connect. So the other type way is what left, the other connector side is type A. So we can drag that one and plug to USB, any USB that's available on this computer. Since we still have two of them, it's still three. So we can connect to any one of this. You don't have to decide, hey, this is the only way. So that can conclude that we are successfully connect monitor and printer to the computer. This allow us to move on to the next step, which say plug the following device into power strip. Great. We already connect these two devices to monitor the computer. Now our job is to connect them to the power strip, which means we have to select the appropriate power and connect that to the right port. So let's start, since we're working on printer, let's start with the printer. So still we are under cables, so that's where we look for, even if we go back and select something else. So like the peripheral device is all gone, so we only left with cable and storage. Of course, for power, we're not going to do anything under storage, so we have to select from cables. So we have two different type of cables list for power. The rest is internet cable, which is nothing to do with the power. So we have two power supply. We can easily guess which one can go with the computer and which one can go with the printer. You can able to imagine that AC power cable, which look like exactly what will be work with the monitor, but this should be what's going to be work with the printer. Surprisingly, as I said, here we have the color. So if you see the color, as I already mentioned, you can easy to guess where it can able to go, because that will help you to do so. So you connect that side to the printer, and the other side, you have to connect that to strip, power strip. We are done with printer. Now move on to the monitor. What we are going to do is to grab to the side, get AC power and plug the female side to the monitor and the male side to the power strip. We go. We successfully connect the both devices to the power strip. That assists us to move on with another task, which is connect the computer to the network port on the wall plate. Great. Since we are left with only one single cable, and it's clearly say that Cat 6A cable with RJ45, we not really guessing to which one is it. Just simply drag and drop that in here. So before I do that, I want to make sure the one which is already connected to the wall, where is it connected to? You have to check that one first before you do like grab the other one, which is obviously we can able to do, but I can just click on this one and do the research on which one is this, where this one is connected to. I don't know what the other side, because as you can see here, one side is already connected right here, and the other one side is not connected yet. So if you are really curious about this one, what you can do, if it make any difference, you can just grab this one too and check what the type of connector RJ45. As you see right here, this is type 568B, but what about this one? We just grab this one and it's the same type. So either we put this one and use the other one, or we just use what we already have there. So we can just bring this one back instead of like, okay, I don't know why I'm not able to bring back. So I did. So we can easily click on that one, which is one side is already connected to the wall. The other side, we can just plug that to the computer right there. Great. That will be connect everything. So what is left then? We moving on. So this one say connect the computer to the network port on the wall plate. I think that's conclude what we already did. So use these tips to help you complete the lab. Anyway, I wasn't use the tips because I'm kind of understanding what's going on, but you can able to go through the tips because it help you if you are not familiar with like how I can able to do this. I think this will be conclude this lab. If you are struggling, if you are following what I was talking about, but you're still not understand, please take time to read down here. Unless otherwise, I think that can conclude this lab. Let's score and see what we get. Here we go. All right, as you see here, we score 100%, which means we follow correct step, and then we done very well. Thank you for watching. See you in next lab.